Roman Reigns, my family, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief.
What's going on, everybody? It is either franchise, and this right here is another installment of Wrestle Talk with the franchise. Yours truly, the podcast Tribal Chief. If you can see, I have my CM Punk hoodie on. I like the hoodies that ever since WWE transitioned over to Fanatics. I like the quality of their stuff. Like, I love this hoodie. I'm getting the Roman Reigns one, the levels above one. There's a couple other stuff I'm going to get as well, but I had to show support to CM Punk, Phil Brooks. I am getting my favorite CM Punk shirt, the Best in the World, the original, the white with the black bands, sleeve bands. Something that I've been wanting for a very long time. Between that and the other CM Punk shirt, the gray Best in the World shirt, if they do bring that back, I'm definitely getting that. But I'm not here to talk, unfortunately, and not to talk about CM Punk. I'm here to talk about everything that has happened in wrestling this week in the WWE. I was going to say I don't want to waste anyone. I don't want to waste any more time of diving into it. There is a lot, and I do mean a lot, to discuss in the matter. We have The Rock kind of taking us back in time. I'm going to address the shirts. I'm going to address, certain things that he's done. But The Rock addressed Cody Rhodes. The Rock reissued or kind of switched the challenge that Cody Rhodes presented to him. My thoughts on it, my thoughts on the viral video, 21 minutes, I believe, The Rock posted on Friday leading up to SmackDown. We'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about WrestleMania talk because we're starting to see a lot of things starting to have some progress. And there's some things that I'm kind of questioning, trying to figure out where they're going at, what angles they're going to go at in leading up to the showcase of the Immortals. So where exactly should we start? Should we start with the Rock response to Cody Rhodes? Should we respond? Should we react? Should we talk about what happened on SmackDown? At the end of that very long segment. I mean, on YouTube alone, the full segment is like 31 minutes, okay? 31 minutes. That is half of Collision. That is, I believe, half of Rampage, okay? But let's dive right into that. Let's talk about SmackDown from Glendale, Arizona. Started off with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline coming out. And you're starting to see something interesting since The Rock has been inserted into this story. We're starting to see Roman act a certain way. Roman's not used to kind of playing second fiddle, if you get my drift. For a very long time, we have seen Roman as the head, the tribal chief, the needle mover, God mode himself. And for the first time, he's not the center of the universe. If you notice, when he came out, he told Glendale 3 times, acknowledge me. And every time, the first time he did it, he said, wait, y'all don't sound too loud. Did it again. And said, nah, I'm gonna try this one more time. And then I'm out. I fulfilled my obligation to show up here, but wise man, fire up the jet, we're out. And Paul Heyman, who I've said is going to play a very pivotal role in this story, kind of said, my tribal chief, we can't leave because The Rock is on his way. And when he said that, you can see Roman look detest. He looked annoyed. He looked frustrated. Which then goes into the very end of this segment, where when The Rock came out and The Rock did his his rock thing. He did his rock thing. At the very end, when he was about to do his catchphrase, when he was about to hit the "if you smell," Roman stopped him. He stopped him. He grabbed his hand and said, I need something from you. I would do anything for my family. But I need just one thing from you. I need you to acknowledge me. And the crowd went crazy because everybody was sitting on the edge of their seat trying to figure out, is Rock going to acknowledge Roman Reigns? And The Rock does the dramatic, take the sunglasses off. He's staring there. He's looking Roman in his face, and Roman's looking at him. And then The Rock says, Roman Reigns, my family, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief. And when he did that, the look on Roman's face, in my opinion, was what Roman needed, that validation from The Rock, because now it's official. Now, in his mind, in Roman Reigns' mind, The Rock now plays second fiddle to him. He falls in line with Jimmy, with Solo, with the wise man, because he knows in his mind, and I'm gonna keep emphasizing, in Roman's mind, The Rock has acknowledged him. And as I said, Paul Heyman is going to be very critical in this story. He's going to play a pivotal role. When The Rock went to do his phrase, went to do the infamous, famous "if you smell," and when Roman stopped him, look closely at Paul Heyman's face. Paul Heyman looked very shocked, disturbed, unsure what was about to happen. And when Roman told him to acknowledge him, Paul had that same shocked look on his face. But when Rock did so, you seen Paul look like, oh my God, he actually did it. And then it's like, oh, we're stronger than ever now. Stronger than ever. Even though for about maybe 3-4 seconds, when they all put the ones up, The Rock had his L up. And as the Ace posted today on his Instagram story, Paul looked at Rock doing this, and then slowly it went to this. Always make sure you have your wise man by your side. We're in blurred times. Okay? I'm a person that I'm not black and white. Life to me is shades of gray. Okay? And right now we are seeing blurriness because we're not sure what we are getting. We're not. We don't know where this angle is going to go. And to be honest with you guys, I love it. I love the fact that we don't know what we're getting going into WrestleMania other than the obvious matches that's already been announced. We already know it is going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes to main event WrestleMania. We already know Drew McIntyre will be challenging Seth freaking Rollins for the world title. We know we have the man going against the mommy, or going against mommy, with Becky Lynch going against Rhea Ripley for the women's world title. And we know Bayley is taking on Io Sky for the WWE women's title. But we also know that Cody Rhodes issued a challenge to The Rock at Elimination Chamber for a match anytime. Anytime. He said he would face him anytime, any place, anywhere. And The Rock, well, The Rock offered this.
We saw your challenge. We heard your challenge. We had a laugh about your challenge. But now, The Rock is a businessman. We are businessmen. We have a counter offer for you. Here's the counter offer. Cody, you think you're tough? You and your new best friend, that walking clown emoji, Seth Rollins? That walking clown show, Seth Rollins, you think you're tough? Well, how about this? Here's the challenge. On night 1 of WrestleMania, the biggest tag team match in the history of the WWE. The biggest tag team match in the history of professional wrestling. It's gonna be Cody, Seth, against a Universal Champion and the People's Champion, The Rock. But it ain't just gonna be a regular tag match if you accept. Because The Rock and Roman, we could easily just beat the piss out of you, but here's what we wanna do. We're gonna give you a shot If you two jabronis beat The Rock and Roman Reigns on night one, then on night two at WrestleMania, your championship match, Cody Rhodes, will be free of the bloodline. No Jimmy, no Solo, no Wise Man, and no Rock. We're gone, barred from WrestleMania. We'll get the lawyers, we'll sign a contract. You have The Rock's word, you have Roman's word. If you beat us on night one, then Cody Rhodes, you got a shot to finish your story one-on-one with Roman Reigns. But there's always a but. If, not if, but when The Rock and Roman Reigns beat your two candy asses on night one, then on night two, for your championship match, Cody Rhodes, it's bloodline rules.
The tag team match that seemed to be, I want to say seemed to be, the tag team match that was teased in the trailer for WrestleMania 40. I'm not a fan of it. I understand why they're doing this. One, you're unsure how healthy Seth Rollins is going to be. But if you have this tag team match and they accept it, you're going to have 3 of the 4 people do double duties. Roman, Cody, and Seth. Which is going to put strain on Seth's body. Which then, if you have Seth versus, or if you have this tag team match, then I'm going to safely assume that night 2, we will have Roman, or we will have Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre on night 2. Which then means they may close out night 1 with the tag team match, or you may close out with Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world title. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have to wait and see, kind of to see how the card plays itself out. But if I was a betting man, I would say that night 1 main event will be the tag team match. Which then means night 2, probably the opening match will be Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. And if that's the case, Drew McIntyre, as I've always said, since this has kind of been the plan after obviously CM Punk got injured, Drew McIntyre is going to be our next world heavyweight champion. There's not a doubt in my mind. I truly believe that Seth Rollins is going to lose that title. And after The Rock's 21-minute promo that he did on his Instagram, I can see a situation where Rock or the bloodline cost Seth Rollins his title.
And you keep running your mouth. Rock. You find some new material, Rock. Find some new material. Is that right? Okay, well, The Rock has some new material for you. How about this? Here's some new material for you, Seth Rollins. How about this? The Rock sits at the top. Director, TKO board, not WWE, but TKO, which means The Rock is the boss, which means The Rock is your boss, which means The Rock owns everything. The Rock, everything associated with The Rock, the people's champion, owns it all, which means The Rock is your boss, which means, Seth Rollins, if you keep running your mouth and sticking your nose in the Bloodline's business, then that world title that you have around your waist, very soon, The Rock will make that title go to somebody else.
Now, Drew McIntyre has been pleading. He pleaded with Seth Rollins last Monday night, not to get involved with the Bloodline. He has religiously said, do not do that, because I know what they're going to do. I'm begging you, don't get involved. It's kind of weird in a sense, because I was watching that segment. I was watching Drew come out, and I'm like, Drew seems to be getting, like, the fans aren't really booing Drew McIntyre. Like, he's supposed to be the heel, but I don't think the fans want to boo Drew. I just don't. I don't see that. I don't see Drew McIntyre being booed when he wins the world title. I could see a situation where they'll boo because of interference, but it's not interference on Drew's behalf. Drew didn't ask for the assistance from the Bloodline. I don't see that happening. I see Drew McIntyre taking advantage of the fact that the Bloodline got involved, and he just happened to just win the world title. But Drew McIntyre will be our next world heavyweight champion. Just a fact. So, when The Rock issued this tag team challenge with Rock, as he deemed it, the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history. Notice that The Rock is using a lot in talking about how these certain matches that he was going to be involved with is going to be the biggest. Him and Roman Reigns was going to be the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time. Now we're looking at the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history. I have my own personal opinion. I will say that WrestleMania 17, tables, ladders, and chairs, that tag team match with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian was the greatest tag team match, probably top 5 greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. But I get it, star power, whatever you want to refer to it as. Rock did say there's a catch, though. If Cody and Seth manage to win, there will be no Bloodline presence during his match with Roman Reigns. No Solo, no Jimmy, no Rock, not even Paul Heyman. But if Rock and Roman beat Cody and Seth, then the match between Cody and Roman will be done under Bloodline rules. Now, I don't know exactly what Bloodline rules is, other than safely assuming it means no disqualification. I mean, Tribal Combat was pretty much a no-holds-barred match, just technically what it was. So are we saying that Bloodline rules is Bloodline interference, Bloodline, as The Rock said, he could be doing commentating with Pat McAfee. Jimmy can be the ring announcer. Solo can sing the national anthem. But that's what it's going to be. Do I see a situation where Rock and Roman lose night one? I don't see it. I can see a cluster fuck happen. But I can't see a scenario where The Rock and Roman lose night one and Roman ends up losing night two. I can't see that happening. I can see a scenario where they win they win. It becomes this, which then inserts, you get Seth Rollins showing up. You get Jey Uso showing up. And then somebody brought up something on Busted Open, and I just caught a clip of it. And that was Matt Camp, who unfortunately was released from the WWE, but he landed in a great spot. He's on Busted Open now, apparently. I believe he's on the weekend. He brought up, who's The Rock's biggest rival? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, he said, insert Austin. Austin comes out, helps Cody Rhodes win. Even though The Rock did make reference in his promo, in the segment on SmackDown, he said, I am the boss. I'm the director of the board. I answer to no one. There's not a general manager that can stop me. There's not an authority figure that can stop me. Triple H can't stop me. Now, my brother was alluding to the fact that Triple H has to have some involvement in this story. Could I see it? Maybe. Do I want to see it? Absolutely not, because Triple H's condition. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want Triple H nowhere involved in this in a physical manner because of his condition. And I don't think that they're going to put him in a position to get him physical. Insert Stone Cold Steve Austin. You get Stone Cold to come out. You get Stone Cold to deliver a stunner to The Rock. The Rock does his infamous selling of it. Cody gets his victory. Cody finishes the story because, as I've been saying forever and a day, Cody Rhodes will finish the story. This then will create the main event for WrestleMania 41. Or, as Rock likes to refer to it, the long game. We can then possibly see Rock versus Roman at SummerSlam, the first of three. Because remember, I've always said three. SummerSlam, maybe Crown Jewel. The finale is WrestleMania 41. You have to have this end at WrestleMania 41. If the bloodline costs Roman Reigns the world or the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship, I can see a scenario where now The Rock gets beat, destroyed by Roman Reigns, probably by the bloodline itself, because they will look at it as you inserted your power, you came in and you became the distraction, or it was your fault because you did X, Y, and Z. I had this game plan. I knew X, Y, and Z was going to happen. Whatever the case may be. If it goes this way. If it doesn't, and it's what everybody kind of thinks is going to happen, which is a swerve, and Rock is going to turn on the bloodline, then I could see a scenario where, we hear it was this was all planned out. Cody and Rock already had this planned. Because if you go back to the video that The Rock did, The Rock said this. It had valid points. Because he said this.
The Rock called Cody Rhodes, had a conversation. But it was a conversation that a few have had with Cody Rhodes before. Because Cody knew the biggest match of all time was looming. The Rock talked to Cody and said, Cody, you love this business. The Rock loves this business. You were born into this business. The Rock was born into this business. Roman Reigns was born into this business. The three of us born into this business. Cody, you got the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time. Right here, you have an opportunity to bring this business up to places it's never been before. You can always, with all due respect, finish your story another time. You agreed. Rocket stings, but I agree. It stings, but I'm a team player. It stings, but I want what's best for the business. Good man. And then what happened? In Birmingham, Alabama, a city we selected because of its rich history, and we knew we were going to make history. It was your job, Cody, to introduce The Rock, thus setting up the biggest main event of all time. And what'd you do? You did exactly what we agreed on. Brother, you introduced The Rock, and that place went crazy. And The Rock came out. And he dapped you up, he pulled you in and gave you a big hug, and I whispered something in your ear. Let's put on the biggest WrestleMania of all time. Let's do it for the American dream. Let's do it for the Soul Man. And I gave you a hug, you hugged The Rock back. And what'd you do, Cody? You walked out of that ring on live TV. And you turned back and you looked at The Rock. And instead of looking at The Rock saying, yeah, go get him. Let's make history. Instead of that, what'd you do? You gave The Rock a look. And it's the same look you gave the world. Like The Rock went out and ran over your goofy ass dog. That's the look you gave. Like The Rock ran over your goofy ass dog. Then sometime from that moment on until Las Vegas, you changed your mind. You know what? That's no problem. You can change your mind. You have that right. And The Rock accepts that. Everybody has a right to change their mind. The Rock accepts it. You changed your mind. But here's what The Rock doesn't accept. Is how you did it. I'll say it again because it's important. To all the Cody crybabies and all the goofs out there and the idiots who still complain. Cody, you had a right to change your mind. You won the Royal Rumble. But what The Rock doesn't accept is how you did it. Saw you in Las Vegas. Saw you backstage 20 feet away. Rock dapped you up, gave you a hug. Did you say anything to The Rock then? Hey, Rock, I got something on my mind. Yeah, tell me about it. Hey, Rock, I got something that's eating me up inside. Cody, go ahead, tell me about it. Let's walk over there, let's talk in private. Come and tell me about it. Did you say any of that? No, you didn't say a thing. But what'd you do? You waited until Roman Reigns walked out there and announced he's facing The Rock. Then The Rock went out there, showed the entire family tree, proof of the most dominant family in professional wrestling, in entertainment, and in sports in the world. And accepted Roman Reigns, accepted the challenge, blood oath, and we were going to put on the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
So you see, The Rock brought up valid points. Hey, if you had a problem Why didn't you say nothing to me in Vegas? You heard what I said. He told, The Rock told everybody what he whispered in Cody's ear. Let's make this the biggest WrestleMania of all time. Let's do this for the American dream. Let's do this for the Soul Man. So it makes you wonder. And they've been hinting, they've been teasing Cody saying something. They've been teasing it. They've been saying Cody has been trying to explain why he did what he did, what was said. And every time he goes to say something, he's interrupted. First time, Seth Rollins. Second time was Grayson Waller or Austin Theory. Get them both mixed up. But we see this. We have now been established that, according to Rock, that was what was said. So now, this is what I'm saying, it's blurry. We don't know. Is this a plan? Is this a well thought out plan between Rock and Rock and Cody to screw Roman over? Or is this going to be where if Roman loses, now Roman is going to now take his frustration and attack The Rock, and now we're going to see a situation where The Rock is now going to be off television for some time until he is back on scene leading up to SummerSlam. And we have we have Rock versus Roman, part 1 of a trilogy. I mean, if that's the case, SummerSlam's already going to be loaded because this guy will be coming back. You can see where they're going with this. Drew McIntyre probably will hold this belt going into SummerSlam, which then 6 to 8 months, they're projecting 6 months he will be back, CM Punk. This was in February when he had his surgery. February, believe it was January. So in time for SummerSlam, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk for the world title? Could happen. Could happen. Moving right along. About this Rock 21-minute promo. I've said this before. I've been saying this. I've been saying it since I seen that promo. And I seen The Rock, and he went on Instagram, and he went. A lot of people are saying it's Attitude Era. Like, this is the closest thing we got to the Attitude Era. I am one of those people. I'm one of those fans that honestly leave the Attitude Era in that time. Leave it back there. Let's stop trying to bring something from the past to the present. I even can't stand The Rock looks like the old man who's trying to be hip. So he's wearing like the nice Versace shirt, but he has it tucked in his pants. He has the Versace shirt, but he has the sleeves cut off. I'm tired of that. Let's just get... I am. But this is The Rock. His approach, his demeanor, his words, his wittiness, all that. This is what he is. This is what he's done. You know, even when he's done promotions for movies, he's had this witty approach. He's been very off the cusp and you know, when him and Kevin Hart, like, shut the fuck up, fuck your kid, you know, all this stuff. Not really fuck your kids, but you know, he has this, you know, he's in his era, but he's trying to bring his era to this generation. And I don't know if it's a good fit. You know, I'm not sure if it is. However, Cody Rhodes needs to do a promo. And I think he needs to go back to the promo he cut. My favorite Cody Rhodes promo of all time. And I'm only going to play a little bit of it. But it was this one.
What's accurate is that this match is generation versus generation. I am not here to kill Dustin Rhodes. I'm here to kill the Attitude Era. My entire lot, my whole class of peers has been compared to these gilded late 90s through the early 2000s for over a decade, and it's an utter sham. Sure, you paved the roads for us, but gosh, you set the speed markers at 35 because you are terrified of any of us putting our foot down on the pedal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cody Rhodes needs to do that, especially because of who he is talking about, who he's responding to. I don't want Cody. I want Cody come Monday or Friday, because I think I know, first off, I thought he was supposed to be there last Friday, but Rock said he wants his response next Friday in Dallas. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get Cody Rhodes and maybe Seth Rollins in Dallas to address this matter. But before then, Cody needs to cut a promo like this. He needs to do the exact same thing that Rock did. He doesn't need to be on camera doing that. He doesn't need to be at Raw doing this on SmackDown. He needs to pull his phone out or have somebody record and he post it on social media. He has to do the same thing. This reminded me, when The Rock did this promo, it reminded me of him and John Cena. Remember when The Rock did that promo when he was out of the country and he did that epic, because I remember he was talking about, put your armbands up like a, what did he refer to John Cena as? I'm not going to say it because it's going to be offensive, but he did refer to him as a member of the LGBTQ community. But he did that. Cody needs to do something. Cody needs to have a similar promo, especially, like I said, because he's talking about one of the faces of the Attitude Era. When he did this with Dustin, Dustin wasn't a member. He was a part of the Attitude Era, but he wasn't one of the faces. And Seth Rollins has been on record, if you go back and listen to The Rock's video on Instagram, that Seth Rollins has taken a shot at The Rock. Him and Seth Rollins. But let it just be Cody. But Seth needs to say something too. Maybe Seth doesn't have to go on Instagram, but Seth needs to say something about it, especially if you're going to be involved. So I'm loving to see what's about to happen. It's going to be interesting, Drew McIntyre's position on this. As I said, keep a very close eye on Paul Heyman. And let's just wait and see what happens. So before I wrap this up, I want to talk a little quickly about some WrestleMania talk. Who will be facing Gunther for the Intercontinental title? We've seen a very epic promo from Chad Gable, video montage, whatever you want to refer to it as, where he basically made a valid point of why he needs to. Gunther came out on Monday and pretty much ran through the list of competitors that he has beaten, and he like, who else is there? And the Judgment Day came out, and JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom, pretty much made it clear that he wants to take the Intercontinental title from Gunther. Now, we all know that apparently the rumor is that it was supposed to be Dominic was supposed to eliminate Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, which then would have prompted Dom versus Brock at Elimination Chamber. And then obviously believed that it was supposed to be Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Obviously, this is not happening. So now we may get this. I'm hearing, and it's just like I'm seeing as I just scroll through, and I'm not digging into it, but it just happened to cross through my timeline that it may be a multi-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title. I think if you have this, that is the only way you're taking the title off of Gunther. Do I still see a scenario where it is Sami Zayn versus Gunther? Possibly. Because I feel like we are going to get Jay versus Jimmy. Even though they didn't really talk much about it. They didn't really talk much about it on Monday. I don't even think was Jay on Raw? I don't think Jey Uso was on Raw. But we may hear more about it. Just have to wait and see. But if it's a multi-man ladder match, Gunther's going to lose. I mean, I think it's time that Gunther does lose the Intercontinental title because I think he needs to now compete for the world title. I would rather see, but you already know, I would honestly rather have seen Jey Uso win the Intercontinental title, but maybe down the line he will. But as of right now, it looks like it's just going to be Jay versus Jimmy at WrestleMania, and Gunther will be facing someone for the Intercontinental title. Just do not know who it is. I think it should be Sammy if you're not going to give it to Jay. But we'll see. Rey Mysterio came back, so we already know we're going to see the LWO take on Legado del Fantasma. That is a long, name of a group, so I had to kind of pace myself saying that name, but we could see that at WrestleMania as well. Are we going to see the Undisputed Tag Team titles split? Now, I say that because it is being reported that is going to happen. Apparently, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis is going to make an announcement about this. We may see something happen at WrestleMania for this. I would rather honestly see Miz and Truth take on Judgment Day, and then they get the tag team titles. But we'll see what happens. AJ Styles versus LA Knight at WrestleMania. I did not dive into how petty AJ Styles was, because you got to be a very petty and hateful person to travel all the way to Australia just to screw somebody over at the Elimination Chamber. But I can see a situation where we're going to see LA Knight versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. As I've been saying forever and a day, let me do it. LA Knight, yeah. That flame is fizzled out. It's no longer there. His buzz is not the same. It was that what the Miz referred to it as, the flavor of the month. That flavor has expired. LA Knight is no longer like the it guy, in my opinion. I don't see him as being the it guy anymore. So, him and AJ Styles, I believe, will have a great match, but I told you so. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, not really ideally what I want, and this is another reason why I do not see that happening, because look at what we have. You could have had a situation where we had Logan Paul versus LA Knight, and then we could have went back. We could have did a callback back to Money in the Bank, but we didn't get that. Now we have LA Knight versus AJ Styles, and now we may have Logan Paul versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. It would be a good look. Randy Orton can put Randy Orton can put over Logan Paul, or he can win the United States title. I don't know what's going to happen with Kevin Owens in this year's WrestleMania. Is it a situation where they don't really have nothing for him, so they may just have him host? He may have a Kevin Owens show. I don't know what you're going to do with Kevin Owens this year for WrestleMania. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him host WrestleMania. I think he'll be hysterical. Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller. They're teasing it. We can see it. I said the other day, or I said on our Instagram channel, on our Instagram page, not channel, that I think Grayson Waller is everything that they wanted Austin Theory to be. And I was relatively surprised when I learned that Austin Theory is younger than Grayson Waller. I thought they were roughly the same age. That tells you a lot. That's all I'm going to say about that. As predicted, Dakota Kai turned on Bayley. We knew this. I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen just off of the strength of Dakota Kai needs to be the mouthpiece for Damage Control. This does leave me guessing, what are they going to do with how is this going to happen with Bayley dethroning Io Sky? But we did get a glimpse of something, because who happened to be backstage when Damage Control appeared? You guessed it, Jade Cargill. And I could see a situation now where you have a three-way, a six-woman tag with Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and the Kabuki Warriors going against Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair. I thought we were going to see Bianca and Naomi versus the Kabuki Warriors, and they win the tag team titles. But if you are now going to slowly insert Jade Cargill into this situation, what better way to have her kind of get her uppings than have her in a six-woman tag match where she can kind of be disguised in the situation. But who knows? We still may possibly see something with Tiffany Stratton as well. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys this week. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this week with Monday Night Raw. I don't know where they're at for Raw, but I do know, obviously, they've promoted Dallas for SmackDown. What is Cody going to have to say in response to The Rock? Is he going to agree to the match, the tag team match? What does Seth Rollins have to say? How Drew McIntyre is going to play a part into this situation? What more are we going to see out of these stories that are being created? I didn't even touch on Nia Jax trying to get involved in the Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley situation. But let me know in the comments what y'all thought of both Rock promos from his Instagram and the SmackDown 30-minute promo Where do you think? Do you agree with me in the position of how Roman feels about this whole situation? Him feeling like he's being overshadowed by The Rock. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about. Is this a work? But is Cody and Rock secretly working together, or is Rock and Cody actually not working? They did agree to something, and then because it went left, where do we see this going? Just let me know what are y'all thoughts on what's going on with the WWE leading up to WrestleMania. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure that you follow us on RCW_podcast. Make sure you also follow the Ace, RCW_Ace on Instagram as well. He is I. It is yours truly, the franchise, better known as the podcast Tribal Chief. I am out till next week, where I will be back to discuss the aftermath of SmackDown, the aftermath of Raw, and whatever happens in between time. Till next time, I'm out.